Good day everyone, we are Group 11 and today we will be discussing Articles 1318 to 1324 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. These provisions explain the essential requisites of a contract, how consent is given, and the circumstances that affect the validity of an agreement. And these are the reporters for the topic, me, Sandra May Bungalon, Marota Irami, and Pinoy Mary Jane. And these are the target learning objectives. Identify the essential requisites of contracts under the Civil Code. Explain the importance of consent, object, and cause in contracts. Analyze the vices of consent and their effect on validity. Apply contract principles to real-world business examples. And then let's begin in Article 1318. Article 1318 tells us that these are the three things needed for a contract to exist: consent, object, and cause. Consent means both parties must agree freely and with full understanding. Example, Carlos calls Daniel to buy his car, but it was actually Daniel's brother, Leo, pretending. Since Daniel did not really give consent, there is no contract. Object. Object means the subject of the contract must be clear and definite. Example, a student applied to a university and said she wanted to take any course. Since the course is not clear, there is no valid contract. Lastly, the cause. Cause means that there must be a lawful reason or purpose for the contract. Example, if Lisa wants to buy Mark's house, she must give something in return like money. That payment becomes the cost of the contract. Next is Article 1319. Article 1319 explains that when a contract is formed, when an offer and acceptance meet, the offer must be certain and clear. The acceptance must be absolute and not conditional. For example, if I sell my phone for 10,000 and you have accept as is, then we have a contract. But if you say I'll buy it for 8,000, that is not acceptance. It is a counter offer. Next is Article 1320. Article 1320 says acceptance can be expressed or implied. Expressed means it is clearly stated, either spoken or written. Implied means it is shown through actions. For example, if someone offers a service and you use it, that is implied acceptance. Next is 1321. Article 1321. Article 1321 allows the person making the offer to set the time, place, and manner of acceptance. The offeree must follow these conditions. Example, Alex offers Brian 4 boxes of perfume and gives him 1 day to decide. If Brian does not reply within the deadline, Alex can sell it to someone else. Next is Article 1322. Article 1322 says that if the offer and the acceptance are made through an agent, the acceptance is valid once communicated to the agent. Example, Clara, a real estate agent, offers a mansion to Leo for 80 million, then Leo accepts through Clara. Since Clara is the agent, then the acceptance is valid. Next is Article 1323. Article 1323 says that an offer becomes invalid if the person offering or the person accepting becomes insane, insolvent, or under civil interdiction before acceptance is made. For example, Sheena offers to sell her beach resort to Chris. Before Chris accepts, Sheena dies. Then the offer is no longer valid. Next is Article 1324. Article 1324 says that even if an offer is given within a deadline, the offeror can still withdraw it anytime before acceptance unless there is an option contract with consideration. For example, Maya offers her land to Carlo for 1 million, but Carlo needs time to decide. Maya can still sell it to someone else unless Carlo pays for an option contract that keeps the offer open for a certain period.
So next is Article 1325. It speaks about the business advertisement. Sabi dito, unless it appears otherwise. So yung mga business advertisement daw po of things or sales are not definite offers. Hindi daw yun mga offer, but sabi they are mere invitation to make an offer. So example, yung definite offer. Ayan yung example ng definite offer. Makikita mo lahat ng specific na particular na kailangan para sa kontrata. So, if yung buyer nag-decide na tanggapin yan, meron ng kontrata. And next example is yung mere invitation. And dito naman, yung mere invitation, may mga importanteng details na hindi nakalagay. So, meaning, the advertisement is not definite offer, so it's just a mere invitation. So, next is Article 1326. Tell us that yung mga advertisement for bidders daw is generally, they are not definite offer. So, dahil hindi nga sila definite offer, meaning they are just simply an invitation to make proposal. Kumbaga, in reality, yung mga gumagawa ng offer ay yung mga bidders. And yung mga nag-a-advertise, they are just inviting bidders to make proposal. So, the advertiser is free to accept or reject. Kasi hindi naman siya yung definite offer. So, para magkaroon ng kontrata, kailangan i-accept ni advertiser yung offer. So, let's proceed sa Article 1327. This is more talks about the capacity of a person to enter into a contract or to give a consent. So, this article say the following: cannot give a consent to a contract. So, number 1 is unemancipated minors, and number 2 is insane or demented person, and deaf who do not know how to write. So, merong tatlo. First, in unemancipated minors. Second is insane or demented person. Unless they acted during lucid intervals. Kasi yung mga baliw daw, hindi naman all the time baliw. Merong mga times na nasa tama yung pag-iisip nila. So, the third one is deaf mutes who do not know how to write. So, dito naman, they are not capable of understanding things unless kung marunong sila magsulat, magbasa, masasabi natin na they are capable of understanding. So, in that case, they have the capacity to give consent. And the reason for disqualifying them or for making them incapable of giving consent dahil dun sa situation na rin nila na katulad ng minors, they are presumed na they are not yet or they are still unavailable to take care of themselves fully. Wala silang capacity to make that intelligible decision. Kumbaga, these minors, yung insane, and the deaf mutes who don't know how to read, to write, are very prone to being victim ng fraud. So, proceed tayo sa Article 1328. Also talks about some another situation or voidable contract by reason of incapacity of a person to give a consent. Na sabi ko kanina yung about sa insane, they are capable of giving consent naman during lucid interval. So, kahit na-declare siya as baliw or insane, may court order that the person is judicially declared insane na. Pero, pag nag-enter siya into a contract, pwede pa rin siya maging valid, but we have just to prove that the contract was entered into during his is a lucid interval. So, proceed naman tayo sa second sentence. So, the second sentence is contract agreed to a state of drunkenness or during a hypnotic spell or voidable. So, ito yung situation na voidable contract by reason of incapacity to give a consent. Pag daw yung contract na-enter into a state of drunkenness, tapos during a hypnotic spell, nagkakaroon ng temporary complete loss of understanding, and so nagiging ini-equivalent nila to temporary insanity. So, proceed naman tayo sa Article 1329. Ito naman yung modification incapacity. Sinasabi dito, yung incapacity as declared in Article 1327, pwede naman daw siya ma-modify or subject to modification determined by law. Kasi may mga case na yung mga taong to incapacitated. So, they can still enter into a contract or valid contract. So, next is Article 1330, a contract where consent is given through mistake, violence, intimidation, undue influence, or fraud is voidable. Ito naman yung vices of consent. Kasi in order that consent may be valid for purposes of a contract, kailangan hindi lang siya basta nag-i-exist. Kailangan yung magbibigay ng consent may capacity to act, and dapat yung consent is free and voluntary, hindi yung napipilitan lang. So, next is Article 1331. So, sabi dito, pag may mistake ka daw sa contract or condition, pwede itong maging reason para hindi maging valid yung consent. Pero bago yun mangyari, dapat yung pagkakamali is tungkol sa important part ng pinag-usapan or sa mga kondisyon na napag-usapan nyo. Yung minor or simple mistakes such as miscalculation can be corrected but do not invalidate the contract. So, example is buyer purchase fainting, believing in to be an original, but it is a replica. So the mistake relates to the substance value of the object. So the contract may be voidable.
So next is I'll be discussing about the continuations of the report. So for the Article 1332, when one of the parties is unable to read or if the contract is in the language not understood by him and mistake or fraud is alleged. So technically, when the person sign a document, that the presumption of the law is he does know with full knowledge and understanding kung ano yung content or kung ano yung nakalagay or kung ano yung sinain niyang contract. That's the presumption of the law. But these presumptions does not apply in this Article 1332. So, if the parties is unable to read and understand the language and may alleged na mistake and fraud, the other parties is enforcing kailangan niya magbigay ng proof na na-explain niya na maayos doon sa other parties kung ano yung nakasulat. Kailangan niyang magpakita ng proof na binasa niya at pinaintindi niya sa other parties kung ano yung nasa contract. If hindi niya na mapatunayan yun, the contract can be nulled or pwede ma-invalidate. So, one of the examples this is on the screen, which is Ethan and Sheena. So, Ethan and Sheena were both blind and they thought na ang pinirmahan nilang kontrata is about the mortgage. But technically, ang napirmahan nila is about the deed of sales. So technically, mayroong pandaraya na naganap since hindi na-explain kay Sheena and Ethan kung ano yung nasa kontrata, which is yung akala nga nila is mortgage but technically it's deed of sales. So next is the Article 1333. There is no mistake if the parties alleging is new the doubt, contingency, or risk affecting the object of the contract. So sabi dito is walang mistake or walang mali kung yung other party is nasabi naman at napaliwanag naman niya ng maayos na may mga possible na maging problem or risk sa pagbili ng bagay, or like for example ng lupa, kung bahain man ito, at nasabi naman niya yon is wala siyang pananagutan doon since na-explain naman niya at nasabi naman niya na maayos yun. So one of the example of this is that Sheena bought a magic pens, and alam niya naman na yung pagbili niya nito is uncertain, but still she still purchased it. So wala siyang pwedeng sisihin doon since aware siya at alam niya na risk yung pagbili ng bagay na yon. So next is the Article 1334, mutual error as a legal effect of an argument when the real purpose of the parties is frustrated may vitiate consent. So kung yung both parties is nagkaproblema at hindi pareho yung inakala nilang kung ano yung pinagkasundoan nila na nakalagay sa contract is magkaiba sila ng kung ano yung iniisip nila. At yung result nito is nakakapapinsala na, at yung kung ano yung inakala nilang nasa contract is hindi na nasusunod. So, pwedeng maging annul or mawalang bisa or maging invalid yung kung ano yung nasa contract na yon. So, one of the example is si Kevin at Daniel is nag-enter ng written contract regarding sa land. So, ang akala ni Daniel is yung land na 500,000 is bibilin niya. But yung nakasulat pala but si Kevin, ang gusto niya lang mangyari is isanla. So, walang pagkakaunawaan between the two parties. Hindi na-explain ng maayos kung ano yung nakasulat sa contract. So, pwedeng, kung sagugustuhin nila, pwedeng mawalan ng bisa at hindi ma-validate yung contract. So for the Article 1335, this basically talks about the violence and physical coercion and intimidation, moral or mental coercion. So dito tinatalakay kung yung mga pang-physical and kung sa pagpirma ng isang contract is may physical or violence or intimidation na naganap. So, one of the examples of violence is yung pag sinasaktan ka anytime na you refuses to sign the contract. And for intimidation naman, when the parties is forced to sign a contract dahil may mga nakatutok na patalim or may pananakot. Ganon. Kung mag-sign man sila ng contract, hindi ito magiging genuine dahil may pamimilit na nagaganap. So for the Article 1336, violence or intimidation shall annul the obligation although it may have been employed by a third person who did not take party in the contract. So for this, kapag gumamit ng dahas or may pananakot or pag may pamimilit for them to force them to sign the contract or yung kasunduan, pwedeng ma-annul yung contract since may pananakot o gumamit ng dahas para mapirmahan yung contract. So one of the examples of this is on the screen. Si Alex is pinipilit na pirmahan yung deed of sales. So si Brian, tinawagan niya yung kaibigan niya which is si Kevin, which is a professional boxer. So ginamitan nila ng dahas or yung pananakot para pirmahan ni Alex yung deed of sales na gusto ni Brian. So next is the Article 1337. There is undue influence when the person takes improper advantage of his power over the will of another, deriving the latter of the reasonable freedom of choice. So merong undue influence kapag yung isang tao is ginamit niya sa mali yung kanyang posisyon or yung power niya para kontrolin yung desisyon ng iba, which is kaya nawawalan ng freedom yung ibang tao kasi nakokontrol nila. So one of the example of this is yung kapag yung police pinilit kanyang pirmahan yung isang kontrata since sinasabi niya na meron daw siyang posisyon at meron siyang pinag-aralan since alam niya kung ano yung nasa contract. So, pinipilit ka niya. Ginagamit niya yung pagkapulis niya para mapilit ka na pirmahan yung isang contract. So, for the last article, which is the article 1338, there is fraud when through insidious words or machinations of one of the contracting parties, the other is induced to enter into a contract which without them he would not have agreed to. So, there is two kinds of fraud. First is the casual fraud. So, ito yung pandaraya na nangyayari sa mismong paggawa or pagkakasundo ng contract. And second is incidental fraud. Ito naman yung pandaraya sa nangyayari habang pinatutupad yung contract. So, may pandaraya or fraud na nangyayari kapag ang isang partito is gumamit siya ng mga tactic words or yung mga flowery words para mapapayag yung isang partido na pirmahan yung isang contract. So, one of the example of this is Ethan and Lara. So, si Lara is nagsold siya ng house and lot kay Ethan na ang sabi ni Lara is it was accessible from public transportation, but it was a false claiming, which is hindi naman pala accessible sa public transportation. So, pwedeng ma-void or ma-invalid yung contract kung ano man yung pinirmahan nila because it has a mispresentation or may kasinungalingan na sinabi si Lara.
AI help us by making our research and content creation faster and more organized. It summarized the articles in the Civil Code, gave simple explanation, and provided real-life examples that we included in our presentation. It also helped us create a structured flow so our report was easier to understand.
One challenge we faced was making sure that the AI-generated content matched our own understanding and was aligned with the Civil Code. Sometimes the explanation were too technical or lengthy, so we had to simplify them and use our own words. So another challenge was avoiding overdependence on AI. So we cross-checked the information in our textbooks and notes. By combining AI assistant with our group discussion and validation, we ensured that the content was accurate and easy to present.
So, for the conclusion, in this topic, we learned that the three essential reconciles of the valid contract under the Civil Code are the consent, object, and cause. So, for the consent, must be free and intelligent. The object must be defined and lawful. And the cause must be true and lawful. We also learned that the vices of consent, such as the mistake, violence, intimidation, undue influence, or fraud, these can make the contract voidable. So, the main takeaways is that contract is not just an argument. They require specific legal condition to be valid and enforceable. Understanding this reconciled help us apply the principles of law in real-life business situation and ensures the fairness in contractual relationship.